Streets of Rage, like, you can tech out of it.
Yes, that's true.
I had no idea. It's been like 20 whatever years.
This is fascinating. We're on the stick, I believe, streaming to the world of people on YouTube, and Alex is explaining to you that you can tech out of a throw in Streets of Rage.
Streaming Doom Eternal, apparently. I didn't think you were playing Doom Eternal, but
they really slowed the pace down for this one. It's a totally different kettle of fish. Well, hey, if someone wants to change that, I'm just gonna get this show on the road. Good evening. I'm Mike. The person streaming Doom Eternal is Joe, and
sure.
We've also got Alex telling us how to tech out of throws.
When you get thrown, hit up and jump in the air.
All right, good idea. In the background, we've got Eric.
Hi.
And of course, Kurt Adam.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Gentlemen, I'm glad we can have you here. As you can see, we've got the city map in front of us, and we're gonna have to work some things out because we are Chimera Squad, the newest game, almost stealth release in the XCOM series that was announced and then dropped.
Kind of did come out of nowhere, huh?
Oh yeah, it was like announced and then 2 weeks later it was out, and it was half price before it was even out, and it was not expensive to begin with. So this feels like an experiment that they just want people to try and mess around with. And I get the feeling that this is kind of like the teaser before they really get into the work on XCOM 3. They want to try some ideas out and see how people react to them. And
how are you reacting to them?
Well, so far pretty positively. As teasers go, this is a fairly fully fleshed out game, but it definitely feels smaller than like a full XCOM game, because those games have campaigns that are pretty sprawling and massive, and this feels fairly self-contained. Like this table here, this city is our whole world. Parts of my world are not doing so hot right now, or they're doing very hot, I guess. We're basically like the XCOM feds, and we've rolled into this.
That whole upper right area looks real bad.
Yeah, well, it could be better, but I mean, it's because there's a hidden mission that I can't get to right now, and it's making things be on fire. Look,
maybe miss that.
I will at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're like the extraterrestrial feds, and we've been sent in to just kind of keep things under control in the city. And we're doing a great job because in the tutorial mission, you save the mayor of the city from a hostage situation, and you hand her over to the people of the city, and then the car that she's in explodes. So, you know, not doing so great on the first day on the job here. But
twist right up front.
Yeah, well, but you know, it's the hook, right? It's the hook. They gotta get you in. So yeah, we're trying to figure out what happened and how people got a hold of like high-tech advanced alien weaponry and blew up the mayor. And so we're investigating 3 different kind of groups in the city, and there are these 9 different city districts, and every day, you know, new missions and things pop up, and the places that you don't deal with, they get mad at you and they start to panic. And so in a certain sense, it's kind of throwback to the original XCOM Enemy Unknown, where you're always having to choose between different regions, and they're all getting more and more worried and upset, and you have to try and prioritize which fires you're going to put out and which ones you're going to let sit for a while. So let's have a quick look here at our squad. So a big difference between XCOM and this particular version, Chimera Squad, is that you have fixed pre-made soldiers. And they've got their own personalities, and they've all got unique skill trees. Like, so there might be 2 characters that are of a similar class, but they are not going to have the same upgrades and abilities. As far as I'm aware, there's only 1 snake lady.
As far as this cat's concerned,
she's the only one. She just learned how to spit poison goo, so that's cool.
Seems like something that she would just come with.
Well, you gotta work for it a little bit.
You got a snake lady, like, that's what they do. Like, what's the snake lady do? Spits poison. Like, yeah, duh. That's what that's snake lady, so duh. Yeah. What is her, like, default thing that she does? She just, like, uses a gun?
She uses the tongue lash from XCOM 2. She can grab an enemy and pull them out of cover towards you, and she can also bind them. So she has 2 abilities out of the after getting her first promotion. She's got 3. So she's actually kind of versatile. Although what I'm finding is that every character that I've used so far on the squad is actually pretty darn good. Maybe with the exception of the one that you start with here, Godmother, who so far her thing, she has a shotgun, so that's nice.
Cool.
And she's hard to kill, but she doesn't seem to have a lot of like really cool
Steven
abilities.
Seagal?
She's Steven Seagal.
Just like Steven Seagal. Don't you see the similarities here?
Is she out for blood? Is the question.
Oh, she is.
Out for justice. Out for
Actually,
justice.
she is out for glad handing because she just completed a little side operation for us.
He's the industrialist. I forget. Is that?
That's on Deadly Ground.
I was gonna say, isn't that the eco one? Yeah.
Yes, it sure is. Okay, thanks. Sorry to interrupt, Mike.
That's fine.
I just needed to know important Steven Seagal related info.
Oh no, trust me, I'm here for it. So you've got about 4 things that you can do with your troops. Like every day, you can take on one mission, and time passes, and like you can be researching stuff. And if you stick one of your soldiers like her onto the research, then it'll go faster. You can run a side op where you just basically send someone out for a couple of days, and they come back with one of the 3 resources that you need. You know,
we call that the Final Fantasy tactics.
Yeah, it's basically I had a good. And then you get some intel or Illyrium or credits. So Illyrium's for researching stuff, intel's for setting up like kind of teams that manage the neighborhoods for you, and credits is for buying things. Or you can train them, which is just a way to get them like some hit points and stuff. So like we can stick Virgin here and train him for 2 days, at which point he will gain a permanent hit point boost, which is good because he's kind of squishy. So this is my kind of sectoid guy. He's got brain powers. He's very good. Actually, like I said, like most of these characters are pretty darn good. So we got Turtle. That's our healer. She's doing science. We're not going to put anyone on a spec op right now because we don't have enough characters. We've only got 4 to put in our away team, basically. And you cannot field fewer than the four characters in your APC. So we're gonna. But as the game goes on, you get new characters every once in a while. They say, all right, choose from one of these 3 new characters, and you get to add one to your squad. And I don't know how many there are, but there are more than you can unlock in a full playthrough. Because from what I understand, you can only have 8 characters on your squad, and there's at least 10 or 12 different ones to choose from. And
do you have squad goals, Mike?
I have squad goals. My squad goal right now is to investigate this kind of cult that wants the aliens to go back to the glory days where they were running Earth, and so to do that, right now I have to wait a day basically. There's some people causing a mess.
What a difference a day makes.
Yeah, there's some people causing a mess in the top right corner here, but their mission is hidden, and it's been counting down from like 6 days to 1 day. And there were some things that I did earlier that made it go faster, but in the meantime, right now I can't do anything to advance it. So I just have to wait till tomorrow to take on that mission. And in the meantime, as long as they're not stopped, things are getting worse in this area, which is kind of a pain.
But you can't stop them until tomorrow.
I can't stop them until tomorrow. No, no matter what, I don't think. A situation target to reveal the scavenger market has appeared on the map. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so I have a couple of like little optional missions that I can run here. So I can basically, the blue missions that you can do here are you click them and you get a thing, and that's kind of all there is to it. So one of them gives me intel, one of them gives me Illyrium, and this one opens up the scavenger market. So I think I'll do this one because I'm kind of curious to see what that works out to. Just for the sake of argument, can I stick someone on one of these missions and then do that? I don't actually know the answer to this question. So let's stick Godmother on this.
Oh, motherfucker.
And then we'll see if we can...
Logic says, hey, the game I can't play without it inexplicably crashing.
Yay, it's an XCOM game that just came out recently, and it's unstable. So, yeah, so I can't even do this unless I have 4 agents in the car. So we're just going to stick Godmother back in the car. Get in the car.
Get in the car, loser. We're going to kill aliens.
So we're going to basically unlock the black market, which apparently is 2 dudes with a truck.
Is that a whole black? That doesn't sound like a whole black market. That just sounds like a black market vendor.
I don't know,
like
man.
A stall.
Yeah, right.
That sounds like the place that you don't want to buy the shrimp from.
It's a farmer's black market.
You gotta get there real early, or they're gonna sell out of all the homemade donuts.
Right. Yeah.
That's right.
Unrest in Renova Heights has risen to 5, so that's bad. But that was the thing that I couldn't stop, as far as I'm aware.
So your belief is that this is like a stealth preview of XCOM 3?
I think that they're going to roll some of the mechanical changes from this game into XCOM 3. We'll get into a mission soon, but one of the big ones is that it used to be that your entire squad went and then all the enemies went. And if you knew what you were doing, what that meant was your entire squad went and then all the enemies were dead. So it was really easy if you were playing well to never even get shot at very much. And in this game, all the turns are interleaved, and so you're going back and forth, which means you're almost certainly going to take some damage, and you just kind of got to mitigate that rather than outright prevent it. So it's not like a completely original thing, but it's just not what they've been doing in XCOM for the last 10 years.
Yeah, Mike's theory is that essentially it's an experiment for them to play with alternate mechanics, see how people think of it, see how it plays out, which I think is a pretty decent theory.
So if the fan base just goes like, fuck this, then it's not
going to be like, okay, I guess we won't do that.
Yeah. So I think
we can do it, but we got to tweak it like this.
I think we're ready to undertake our mission here. So this place has gotten up to maximum badness, right? Which is not a great situation, and that means that starting next turn, it would start filling up my city anarchy meter, and if that gets full, you lose the game. But we're about to do our mission, so that's going to bring things down, and it should be fine, at which point our biggest issue is going to be this downtown region here.
You guess.
Alright, here's another snake person. One thing that I like about this game is it takes place after XCOM 2, and you're in this city that's filled with aliens who are just trying to, like,
get by.
They're trying to get by, they're trying to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, merge into society and just kind of integrate.
Assimilate.
Well, sure, that sounds bad. Integrate, let's say.
Integrate, yeah.
And so, like, you'll be playing a mission and you're surrounded by, like, muton dock workers and things who are just civilians.
And they're like, hey, Dave. Hey, John.
Yeah, and they're like, why are people shooting? We don't shoot people anymore. We want to get out of here. Although it's only been 5 years since the war, and every one of the mutons was a soldier, so I would assume that they would be kind of calm under fire, but... So...
Probably should just kill aliens.
Wow.
It's the only way to be
sure.
Really
just gonna say that?
Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, they attacked Earth and tried to kill everyone. So,
they did. It's true.
And enslaved everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, these AP rounds look good as hell.
Although I think the...
Those AP rounds are getting college credit while they're still in high school.
I was gonna make like an Associated Press joke, but I was like, eh.
All right.
It's a little hard to pull that off.
Right, yeah, so that's why I stopped.
Yeah,
but
yeah, we'll keep the presses going while you work on that.
No, stop them.
I think the in-game justification here is essentially you take out the elders, all the like top level bad guys, and the lower level ones were like they're like stormtroopers, right?
Well, yeah, and they're all stranded on Earth now, right? They're like, what do we do now? We're stuck here.
We gotta feed our family.
So to everybody watching this, hopefully by the 15-minute mark, Mike will actually start like playing the game.
We're at the loadout screen now. Keep your pants on.
This is part of it, man.
It is part of it.
Just so you know, Joe, Godmother's got a shotgun, but it's a tranquilizer shotgun, so it's non-lethal.
Why?
It ain't XCOM if you don't watch Mike dither around for a while trying to, well, it could go this.
I'm being relatively fast.
Yeah. No, you are.
We're almost ready to go. I just want to see if I have any. I got a missed shots do damage thing that I should put on somebody. Sure, why not? You can have it, Cherub.
Oh my god, this asshole.
Alright. So...
I hate that asshole.
I think we're good to go.
I'm fighting the Ultimate Warrior on a beach, and then there's some random dude hit me, and like... Yeah.
Well,
alright.
Here's your
because he laid down on the lawn and run over him with lawnmowers, and then he loaded up the rocket fuel and loaded up with the warriors. That's why he's so powerful, you see.
Warriors. For more references like these, play XCOM.
Sure. Question mark?
Question mark?
I think if one of your squad members could be a professional wrestler who like body slams the aliens, I'd be much more interested in XCOM.
One of your characters, I think, could be Muton Berserker, which is a huge hulking creature that always uses melee attacks. So, it doesn't seem that far off.
Do those melee attacks include like power bombs and pile drivers?
I don't have that character on my squad yet, so
okay.
I couldn't tell you.
Hopefully it includes spine busters, which your other members of your squad refer to as sidewalk slams. That'd be good.
So, you remember a couple of weeks back we played Tactical Breach Wizards? This game actually has a couple things in common with that. You start every mission by placing your characters outside of the area that you're going to go into and then breaching. And this is the part that I feel is really board gamey because, like, I've got 3 different places where I can slot in characters, and they each come with different bonuses, and sometimes they're like negatives as well. And to use this one at all, we have to have a breaching charge on our squad, which we do.
I've played a little bit of this. Like an hour and a half, something. And this is the part I think is pretty interesting because of that stuff, right? Okay.
Especially when there are negatives
here,
too.
and you're going to surprise them, right? Exactly. There's trade-offs, and you can prioritize. You can split your squad up if you want to, and try and figure out the right. Oh, if I take these guys in there, they're surprise them. They'll look over this way. Then I'll bring these guys in from this side.
Actually, there's no reason for me to put all my characters on this one side. So just by going through here, I'm going to be changing I'm going to be changing alert enemies into surprised enemies, which is nice. And then I can also send someone through the window who will then stun if he gets a successful shot. And I can also, what does this one do? And this person is now guaranteed to land their shot because they're the last one through the door. So this is a decent little split that we have going on. So we're going to smash our way in. And
the other thing about this game is that you don't do a mission and then leave and go back to the thing, right? There's stages to it. You do a mission.
Yeah, there's like multiple encounters.
And then you do another one. And so things like this, to go in this area, you need a breach charge. You'll use that breach charge, and then if you go into the next one and you don't have somebody else with a breach charge, you can't use that on the next one because you've already used it to get into the first area. And so you go, well, do I switch that off? Do I build another one, give somebody that? Then it's a trade-off.
And I just missed a 93% shot, so you know this is XCOM.
XCOM!
I mean, it's not 100, so...
XCOM! Why are we saying XCOM? XCOM, yes!
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I hit the wrong button.
Wow, everyone here is super aggressive. They're all going to be shooting at us in like no time.
Yeah, it's almost like you blew up a wall and jumped through a window at them or something.
Yeah, but normally that surprises people.
Yeah, normally they kind of get stunned and you can take a pot shot at them and then you still get to go first.
I was going to say, typically when you blow one of these walls down, there are 2 people who are actually aggressive, which means that they're going to shoot at you if you don't kill them immediately. Right now I've got like 5, so we're going to take some damage.
This is going to be a mess.
You're a loose cannon, Ailes. You shouldn't have gone in when you did. You should have thought about your tactics harder.
On that shot through the wall.
So
you put those men and women and snake ladies at risk.
So I haven't tried this yet, but
I want your badge.
Cherub has an ability where he's going to draw the attacks of all the aggressive enemies, and it's going to block all damage, and he's going to gain like power for his melee attack. So maybe we can turn lemons into lemonade here.
So wait, so if the war is over and a bunch of the aliens are just like civilians now, who are you fighting? Like rogue former?
It depends. There's actually multiple factions.
Alright, so this didn't work at all, as far as I'm aware.
Well,
I thought he was gonna draw all the fire and then not take, and he drew 1 shot. So I mean, great, but
better than none.
Sure.
Alex has a point.
All right, so here we are. This is our turn order. So we got Blue Blood up first, but then he's gonna have to deal with this Guardian, and then downstairs this. Hopefully, we'll leave him alone. So Blue Blood is good at shooting stuff and can shoot more than once in the same turn. So we're gonna see if he can take this guy out.
False Logic says terrorists, an alien cult, and one wants to steal a spaceship and go home. Let him go home. Let him have a spaceship and go home. Why would you want to?
Well, they gotta steal stuff.
So these stupid robots
the other
smack themselves in the head and get ready to explode 9 times out of 10 when you fight them. Alright, so who's next? So the next guy up is this Wounded Commando.
Is Mike's feed really choppy for anybody else?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh, okay. Everything or what?
From time to time it gets really choppy, especially.
Yeah, I thought it was
like
just
as you were
me.
As you were planning out that first shot, it was kind of slideshowy.
Yeah, I actually thought it was just me, and so I didn't say anything. But yes,
I mean, you know, the internet is kind of on fire these days, so maybe that's a general problem. Yeah. All right, we're gonna
right now,
just turned into a slideshow for me.
Yeah.
So.
Can you hear the voice at least?
I mean, I can hear your voice in the I mean, I can hear your voice in Discord.
All right. Well, I don't know.
12th Logic also says that he'd know more, but the last time he played, he crashed and then it forked his save, which is really sucky. And he was playing on Iron Man because he's a dope.
So am I.
I feel like nothing kills my interest in a game faster than if my save gets boned in that way.
Right.
Like
You can't
I've had that
reload
happen a couple of times, like years,
Right.
like a save, memory cards get corrupted or whatever, or like in the PlayStation era, and I was just like, I'm just never gonna finish that game now because like I'm not doing all that again.
Right. Exactly. I mean it with love. I mean dope with love.
Is that just like a bystander?
Yeah, that Newton who's just kind of cowering here is a non-combatant.
Yeah.
Can you usher him out of there, or
I can if I move someone next to him.
Yeah, that is a thing that you did in the other other games as well. You could have you got to protect these people, and you would run up to them and stand by, and like go, they'd run away.
Oh, so if anybody from last week was hanging on to what the hell was going on with my Mr. experiment, like I don't know how
Joe, what's going on with your Mr. experiment?
It's time for our weekly update of what's going on with Mr.
Yeah, so the cores do not require the CPS1 cores none of them require the bigger memory expansion. It's just that I was an idiot and updated the MRA files and the ROM files and did not update the RBF files, which is the actual core itself.
Oh, don't you know you always
Joe.
update the RBF files?
Jeez.
Well, yeah.
Come on,
man. So that's why they were
You just
all
created your own weird compatibility.
I did. That's literally exactly what I did. I created my own weird
That's kind of bad.
Not a good plan.
So, but yeah, everything's working swimmingly, and I'm probably gonna. I mean, I'd like to stream some of that again soon. So,
cool.
There's only, I think Jotego. I think I counted, and there's only like 5 CPS1 games that he hasn't released cores for yet. I think it's all 3 of the Pang, which I think probably Americans better know as Buster Brothers. The 3 Buster Brothers games, Block, which is also a puzzle game, and King of Dragons are the last 5 CPS1 games that he hasn't put out. And then he's been hinting at he's going to do so technically there is, I guess, an X68000 core for Mr. right now, but it basically doesn't work at all. And apparently he's going to be working on a new X68000 core, which is a Japanese computer standard that was made by Sharp. That
it's in a lot of stuff, right? Isn't that
very
like
well? So there's already a cycle accurate Motorola 68000 CPU, like for Mr. But the Sharp X68000 was just a computer that used that as a processor, and then like had a bunch of other stuff in it as well. And it's probably best known for being. I mean, it's basically. It ran a bunch of very, very accurate arcade ports in the 90s, like more accurate than anything that was on consoles at the time. It was a very beefy computer standard, and even now they're super expensive, and you can get broken ones for less money, but then you have to figure out how to fix them, and it's all kind of a hassle, even though a lot of people are super into it. So I'm pretty interested in seeing how Jotego does with that. But I also think he's going to do CPS Dash or CPS 1.5 before he does that, which I'm very into because there's only like 6 or 7 games for CPS Dash, but 2 of them are the first 2 Saturday Night Slam Masters games, so I'm into it. And also Punisher, and also I can't remember, but yeah, there's only a handful of games for CPS Dash, but they're all pretty good. So fun stuff happening on Mr. And Mike, did you see that the Atari ST core got released last week? Did we talk about that? Did that happen?
I heard about that, but I don't know. Oh, that sucks.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, Warriors of Fate, Punisher, and Saturday Night Slam Masters and Muscle Bomber Duo are the 5 CPS Dash games. So, but yeah, Atari ST Core just came out. I've still been waiting for. I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was Risha was working on a Atari 7800 core, which I was like pretty excited for, but that's still not done.
To the ST, yeah, I knew that it existed, but I don't know much about computer or what it means to me that it exists.
It was very popular in England, believe it or not. It's pretty similar, as I understand it. It's kind of similar to the Amstrad, I want to say. Amstrad CPC and the Atari ST were fairly similar. Did this... Okay, never mind. Also, False Logic wants to know what you're doing, Mike, which group you are investigating.
I'm investigating the alien cult that wants to go back to the good old days of Advent being in charge of everything. And also, this is my first mission where things are going pretty badly. Maybe I can blame that on the fact that, you know, I'm streaming or something. Doesn't much matter because this is Iron Man, and so if my people die, they die, whether I'm streaming or not.
It's a poor man, poor workman that claims his tools.
That's right.
You're a tool.
Also, if he dies, he dies.
True. Yeah.
I would just like to say that one of the
He
purple
dies,
dudes in Streets of
everybody
Rage just threw me, and I teched the throw, and then another one immediately picked me up off the ground. I that one, and I feel like it's not hard, as we discussed early on. However, I still feel like a god.
Oh my god, that thing's still alive.
Streets of Rage 1 is still pretty good.
Streets of Rage 1 is really good, yeah. Ow.
So, I don't know, is anybody else playing anything else? I mean, we must be
Playing a lot of stuff.
What are you playing, Alex?
Hang on.
Besides Streets of Rage.
Well, right now I'm playing Streets of Rage. I bought that dang old Trials of Mana remake.
Yeah, I played the demo of that. It's
something
kind of rough. Yeah, actually,
rough.
I think it's better than the Secret of Mana one, but it's still not very good.
I feel like I heard exclusively bad things about the Secret of Mana one, so that doesn't.
Oh yeah, the Secret of Mana remake everybody said was like terrible, but
that feels like faint praise.
It's fine. I don't think I've seen a lot of people go, "Wow, the combat's like so much better." I'm like, I don't know. I don't.
Your character
almost killed Eric by saying it was fine.
Sorry, Eric. I'm sorry. I've seen a lot of people say like, "Man, the combat much better." I'm like, is it? I don't know. I guess like
better than it originally was, or
yeah. And I'm like, I get that the combat wasn't great in the original one, but like it's also not great here either. It's like it's like I said, it's like fine.
Do I not have to wait for my like little meter to charge? Because that's the only thing that I would.
It's actually harder
the
to
original.
get meter.
That doesn't sound like they improved the combat. That sounds like they made it worse.
Well, now there's like light and heavy attacks, and like when enemies do their special attacks, little things pop up on the ground. You can dodge it, but the camera's shit, and like it's not the lock on. You have to like re-lock on when every time you kill something. It's
every time I play Secret of Mana or Seiken Densetsu 3, which I haven't played very much of the latter, but like I like those games, but I always want them to be more like Zelda. Like I want to just be able to attack like all the time, and it's always like at least a little frustrating that I can't.
I don't mind it. I feel like it's kind of like
playing mostly Animal Crossing. So
yeah.
Which looking at my
maybe you should start the Witcher 3, which you should really play the Witcher 3.
Who here hasn't played Witcher 3? Play that.
I have not played Witcher 3 either.
Play it.
You told me not to play it when it came out, Alex.
I literally just a second right after I said that I was like, oh wait, who am I talking to? Joe, right? Never mind. Don't play it. So I take that back. But yeah, I'm playing that. I played was it Divinity 2? Eric and Anthony and myself and
the
Kirk
Bucket Squad Team
Sure.
Buckets.
Team Bucket.
We're down to 2 buckets. We're not wearing. At one point we were all wearing buckets, but 2 of us have better stuff now. So I'm still wearing a bucket. I think Kurt is also.
Yeah, I still have a bucket. Yeah.
All right, we still have buckets, but everybody else has better shit now.
Does
that
give you the ability to shred on guitar?
No,
it does not. Sadly,
it's not a KFC bucket. It is a wooden bucket.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Although the funny thing is that I am playing a humanoid type person, and Alex is playing a lizardy type person, and his bucket sits up on his head so that you can see his face.
Because I got ridges.
Because he's
on
got
top.
ridgy ear things sticking up, so it sort of sits on top of that. I don't have those things, so it just falls all the way down on my head, like, Weird Harold or something like that. Mush mouth. So that's kind of funny, as I'm always walking around, nobody can see my face, but no one says anything about it. Everyone's like,
You.
I'll say this stuff. It's fine.
Um,
I'll buy all these extra buckets you have. That's what I do. I pick up all the buckets and I sell them because
There's literally like 40
money's
buckets
extra
in
money.
one of the vendors. Like, yeah, he's
Yeah.
not kidding. Like, but yeah, so we're doing that, and I'm playing a single player version of that as well, and it's really, really, really fucking good.
it's really good.
It's super
It's like
good.
it's a Diablo-ish thing, right?
I wouldn't say it's like Baldur's
No.
Gate,
Yeah,
like that kind of thing.
it's a old school computer RPG.
But
With
there's
four
lots
players, 4 players together though.
Yeah.
of four-player online
It's
co-op.
like playing a tabletop RPG.
There is a tabletop RPG mode, quote unquote, that I don't know how it works, but apparently you can like make campaigns and shit in it. So yeah, so it's a really cool game. There's lots of like really interesting interactions with things, and it's also really fun playing it by myself and then also with the gang, because it's like one version is like I'm like when I play it single player, everything's super efficient and like a well-oiled machine, and like
And then you're
you
playing
know,
with
one has
Anthony.
I'm like, I take a, yeah, exactly. I take a break. I look things up on the wiki. I'm like, because I'm like an insane person, so I'm like,
It's what
I gotta-
he does.
I gotta maximize everything. And then the other version is like, hey Anthony, come help us fight this guy. And Anthony's like, I'm dead. And we're like, where are you? And he's like, I don't know.
Where are you guys? We just went through that door you were standing in front of. Why are you not here? What
Yeah.
door? Oh my god.
And Kurt's like, hey, I want to sell stuff. And then Anthony's like, okay, well, I'm fighting. And we're like, how are you fighting?
I was sitting here waiting for you to finish with the vendor so I could talk to them. What?
So
the
I walked
fuck are you
away,
doing?
and then this guy came up to me, and now we're fighting. And then I'll be like, I in the single player game, that guy was nice to me. And he's like, I don't know, he just started fighting me. I'm like, what did you say to him? He's like, I don't know.
You met Anthony,
all the
right?
starting area.
All right.
Half the
Yeah, I looked it up afterwards. So if there's there's a guy that wants you to get his drugs back, and
He's not a good guy.
if you're playing
To be
it
clear.
single player and you have one of the pre-made characters in your party, she will just kill the lizard man to get the
And-
information that she needs. But I persuaded him into giving me the information, and so then he took the drugs and passed out. And when I tried to give the other guy the orange back with that was supposed to be hiding the drugs,
There were no drugs.
there were no drugs, and so he got mad and
He got
went-
mad, and we ended up fighting everybody.
Mm.
And
That's what happened in
also-
my my single player game. Like, that's what happened is I walked up to him. My party member was like, "Hey, can I talk to this guy for a second?" And I was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And then she just pulled out a knife and killed him. And I was like, oh, "All right, well,
I guess we did that.
guess that happened." Yeah.
Also, in approximately 75% of all the fights that we have done to this point, at least one, but possibly all of us have been on fire.
I would say 100% of the fights.
I mean, that's just divinity combat.
that's just
Yeah.
the game. That just happens. You're like, all right, well, I'll put it out later or not. I don't know. Fuck it.
You can freeze blood or electrify blood or
Good.
Light it on
Dude,
fire.
like I was standing.
if
Okay,
fire
so,
touches a poison cloud, it all explodes. And
So I got frozen and I was standing on an ice pile and I was like, and you can slip on ice when you walk on it, right? And so I
unless
was
you
like,
put
"Shit."
nails in your shoes, and then
Unless
you're
you put
okay.
nails in your shoes. But I was
tip.
like, pro tip, and I was like, well, shit, like, because everybody was like, just go kill that guy, and I'm like, well, but he's on the other side of the ice. I'm gonna have to walk to him, and I was like, well, fuck it, YOLO. But then I didn't slip. But what I realized what happened is I didn't slip because when I was standing on the ice, somebody stabbed me, and my blood like washed away the ice. So I was walking on my own
Wound it back
blood.
up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you were fine, even
the weird interactions with the environment and all the spells and stuff in that game is like fucking incredible. Like that's
the key thing that Divinity brings to the table.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, A++, highly recommended. What else am I playing? There's too much shit, man. Animal Crossing, but what can you say about that other than, you know,
it's bullshit garbage for bad
babies.
for bad babies.
I'm just like I am mystified by. I've said this before. I cannot. No matter how hard I try, I do not see the appeal of Animal Crossing. Like it's foreign to me.
Let me pull something up real quick. Let me find it. Let me go to my Twitter account.
No, I've seen Isabelle and Tom Nook dancing to things.
It's not that.
Okay.
It's not that. One of my neighbors.
You got snaked.
Find a good example. Okay, so here's.
Well, be careful, Mike, or no one will get snaked ever again.
So one of my neighbors is a lamb who wants to be a pop star who wears a watermelon T-shirt, and then like the other one is this guy who wears like a workout jacket, and he's a squirrel, and his whole thing is that he's super strong. And so one day I just
my guy like that is a bear.
Yeah. I have a bear, but he's like
he's
a cranky guy who's always just like, man, I just want to go home and go to bed. And I'm like, I like you, dude.
I hear that.
Yeah.
I'm here for you, man.
So
you do that. I won't bother you.
So one day, Wendy and Sheldon, my two neighbors, were having a conversation, which was that they should put on a concert. Well, Wendy wanted to put on a concert so everybody would know how cool my town, Fartland, is.
That was rough, man.
That was rough.
And so Wendy's like, let's do a dance show. Sheldon, you'll be one of my backup dancers. And he's like, no, I want to do what was it? Was it a squat contest or like a weightlifting contest? I don't remember. And he's like, and I'll need you to be my spotter, Wendy. Oh, it must have been a weightlifting. It was weightlifting because he needed a spotter. And then they're like, Alex, what do you think? And then her like in a fucking panic, like, I gotta tell this dude how much I love shrimp risotto. He's my best friend. He needs to know this.
Is the stream dead for anybody else, or am I just the lucky one?
It just keeps popping in and out. Yeah.
Whenever it changes,
resolution
changes types, it drops. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I am getting various reload issues.
Okay.
Falsey wants to know what your post-mission heal setting is, Mike.
My opposed mission. What now?
Post-mission heal.
I put it on the default, which heals you back up to half between confrontations, and I'm really glad I did because things were already pretty rough in there. Although it wouldn't have helped much, maybe, because the first person who got taken out was the only one who gained any health back from that heal, so I guess it wouldn't change anything. Yeah, that really sucked because I immediately lost my damage dealer. So yeah, we were down our most capable soldier, but I had a Cherub who can put those shields on people, and that lets them absorb damage, and he can do that once per turn, and so that was very useful to have him still around on the team. Now to choose one of these operations, which I'm actually not entirely sure.
Is it water on the knee? I'm the doctor for you, Mike. Okay.
$1,000 fee?
Yeah, okay, good. I didn't know. All right.
There we go. It's come full circle.
Okay, so if I end the genetic experiments, they get androids, and if I investigate the androids, they get chrysalids. Okay.
Cherub needs braces.
I would like to stop getting exploded by those fucking androids, and I would like to see a new enemy type. So let's get some chrysalids, huh? Mix it up.
You don't want chrysalids.
So, Alex, I'm just gonna tell you that that whole story you told completely did not sell me on Animal Crossing. Just so we're all on the same page.
I mean, that's fine.
Still,
if you don't like joy, I can't I can't help you with that.
Oh man, I got 2 scarred agents here.
And I mean, obviously it's a game that has a ton of appeal, and it's like what I just read that it was like the fastest selling first party Nintendo game since Smash Brothers Brawl or some fucking weird shit like that.
Right.
So
COVID.
Yeah, that's true also. But it's just a goofy fun time, that's all. You just talk to a bunch of dumb idiots and they're like, "Hey man, I'm really stupid." And you're like, "Okay." And then you plant some flowers.
And then you're like, "Hey, here, have an orange."
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just
like,
glad
wow,
I'm glad that Eric is with
flowers.
me and also completely not, because sometimes I feel like I'm the only person who doesn't see the appeal of a specific game, and I'm really glad that Eric is with me on not seeing the appeal of this specific game. So
I understand why you don't see.
I
quite
get
like
it.
an alien.
I'm not playing it as much as I used to. Like I've just settled in, but it's like every day I'll play it for like
I
20
think.
minutes.
Well, I
something.
think the characters and the I think that stuff is all really cute.
Oh yeah, no, the
really
aesthetic
appealing.
is super
I just-
charming.
I just don't
don't
wanna-
play the game though.
Yeah, I
You
just don't
wanna
want
do
to
chores.
collect
Yeah, that's
fruit
fine.
and do chores and.
Yeah.
It's
I
not
just-
super
I
exciting.
just don't want
but
like
that's
the baby capitalism simulator 2K or whatever bullshit that thing's got going on. Just none of that really appeals to me.
the goal. It's not like a fun game to play. It's just like a little experiment you can do. Like I guess if that makes sense. Like it's what am I looking for? It's like a palette that you use to like create stuff with, right?
Right. I mean,
Like, that's the appeal. The
Right,
capitalism stuff is how
like-
you get to that.
for a lot of people, that's the only way they can own a thing and like make furniture and build a village, and that's really appealing, and all that stuff's cool. But like, I don't think we talked about it on stream, but it might have been Alex and Anthony and I decided that the best way that you could make one of those games was to make an Animal Crossing RPG based on Suikoden, so you could just like had to collect all one villagers
All
I'm in.
108 villagers.
I'm
yeah.
in.
with the Stars of Destiny,
Take
and
my
then it was
money.
just like a super
take my money.
fast-paced battle system, and I don't know.
Where the battle system was talking,
Yeah,
like in
like
take it-
Griftlands.
Yeah, or take a page from shit,
Ow.
that game I can't remember the name of right now.
that
I mean,
one
there's a
was
lot
good,
of
though.
It's a good one.
RPGs.
My brain
where
is all mushy.
Griftlands is the one that's the card battler one, where it has like the speech battling stuff.
Yeah, I just bought that. I had $10 coupon in the Epic Store. Is gonna run out in like a day or two, and I couldn't figure anything I wanted, so I thought
I
$5
keep
American
forgetting to check
dollars.
if I still have that.
What now?
I said
Yeah.
I keep forgetting to check if I still have that coupon. I don't remember if I used it. I don't think I used it on anything, so I guess I should still have it, right? Hypothetically.
You better hurry up.
Well, I'll
think you
probably
have
buy
until
that
tomorrow.
Predator game. I was gonna pre-order the Predator game, and then it came out. I forgot, totally spaced on it, and
Yeah, it came out like last week or something.
but the pre-order gave you the original like 1987 Predator skin for your Predator, and now I can't have that, and it's like slightly dampened my enthusiasm. Also, the fact that playing it, that doesn't help either, because it's like if I'm gonna play like an online shooter and like none of my friends are playing it, I don't know, that's
Sure.
somewhat dampens my enthusiasm.
Undertale was the game I was trying to come up with.
Oh yeah,
So
Undertale.
like
Like a
anti-battling.
talking
Oh,
rhythm.
sure,
Yeah,
Right.
something like that.
sure.
I don't. Did you play any of Griftlands, Mike?
Not yet.
Where
I mean,
would
it's a-
I?
I
Where
played
would
a few hours of it, and I thought it was pretty cool. But then I was like, I'm gonna wait until this is done because
Yeah.
it needed like a broader spectrum of cards and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Felt
what
a
I've been
little
doing lately.
limited.
Is I've been investing in game futures. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I pick an early access game that looks cool and is cheap, and I buy it, and I figure, in a year maybe I'll play some more of this.
False
Like-
Logic wants to know.
I did
if
that
you-
recently.
You feel the same way about farm sims like Stardew Valley or Subnautica. Don't get Alex started about Subnautica.
So the weird thing is that I obviously
Or
do
doesn't.
like farm sims and
Right.
building sims, and just spent 50 hours playing Satisfactory. But the one time I tried Animal Crossing, I hated it.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Is I love Animal Crossing, but like Subnautica was dog shit. So
Yeah,
it's
I don't
like,
think those things have that much in common.
I remember
Yeah, I
you
mean-
hated Subnautica.
I could see people trying to draw a similarity between
yeah,
Stardew
same.
Valley or Harvest Moon or something like that and Animal Crossing, in that, in a very reductive sense, both games are about doing chores.
Right. I mean, I played
I was
like
gonna say all
There
those
is
games.
way
like,
more to Stardew Valley, game-wise, than there is in
right.
Animal Crossing.
Animal
Animal
Crossing.
Crossing is more
Yeah.
about.
Well, I like the games
The
where
other
there are
aesthetics and
systems that
things
you
like
can
that.
set up and you can build
Yeah.
things that do things ideally.
Yeah, I mean, I played like 30 hours of The Long Dark, but that's a very different
Right.
thing as well. So
Do you have like a home base in the Long Dark? Like you're kind of become self-sufficient and
So if you play the story mode, you're kind of constantly moving forward because you're trying to like get to the top of the mountain, kind of. But each little act kind of has like a home base that you're kind of like building up and stockpiling things
Right.
to try and like part of the goal of that game is just like collect enough things to make some decent clothes so you don't freeze to death. Before you can like move on to some of the harsher environments and things. So
yeah. It also says Subnautica is self-directed. You craft, play around. You can ignore the story if you want to. And for me, that's a disincentive.
Right.
Like
Sounds like
stuff,
Mike and Anthony were way into the story.
I need stuff that has at least like you know, even moderate like micro goals or something. You know, Animal Crossing has, you know, some amount of that of, well, I gotta run around and check in on this and pick up my, you know, pick up my fruit and I gotta weed this thing and I gotta buy this stuff. Okay, I'm done for today. That's fine. Like, that's okay for me, but like when Minecraft first came out and there was nothing but, yeah, do whatever you want.
Thank you.
I was like, I have no interest in this at all. Like, I need someone to tell me, go do this thing, even if it's, you know,
See, that was when
25 hours of grinding to get it done and it's all mindless. That would still be more appealing.
That was when I liked it. I don't know. When it was just Legos. I played a lot of it when it was just Legos, and then they added all the stuff, and I was like, I don't want to craft an axe to have to do the thing, and I just want to fly around and be rad.
But that's what your day-to-day life is like, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why would you do that?
Yeah, I'm always flying around and making stuff.
Yeah, being rad. That's my point.
Did anybody have any issues with their Nintendo account? Because I didn't, but I'm setting up my two-factor authentication.
I mean, I said that email that I sent to everybody that, yeah, mine was apparently hacked or whatever. So.
I didn't see anything. I didn't get any notifications or anything, but I did set that up. So
somebody hacked in and changed my password, so I changed the password again and then enabled two-factor authentication. But I don't know. I don't know how much more Switch stuff is gonna. I think I might be done with my Switch. I don't know unless there's like that new Zelda comes out. Yeah, I hate playing stuff on it. I think the screen looks really bad, and even with those new controllers, it's very uncomfortable to play it. So.
And I almost always buy things for the Switch if it's an option.
I don't always, but I have done
unless I've heard that there are performance issues, like specifically, then I won't. But
that said, I did buy Trials of Mana on the Switch, and it does have issues, but it's not that bad. So you could totally do that if you wanted.
I mean, I played that on PC, and
I was gonna say,
like one of those things where
what you said at the beginning, that doesn't sound like it's a Switch.
In the translation from 2D to 3D, they made it like really big, like just like the hallways and the castle that I started in with I picked the princess, the desert princess lady, to start with, and it's like it was one of those games that felt like an old Nintendo 64 game or something, where they just like made it huge just to make it huge, and it's like like there's like all this negative space between the rooms, and the hallways are super long, and there's not a lot of variation in the textures and stuff on the ground, so everything just looks the same. It looks a lot like a super up-res like
the biggest problem with that game is that, like, what is SD3's like greatest strength? It's awesome sprite work. And it's like, well, that's gone.
All the artwork is gone. Yeah, and the music is like really generic sounding compared to the Super Nintendo one. I don't know.
So if anyone's paying attention,
the voice acting is the voice acting.
Oh, it's really bad.
I heard a clip of that. It sounded like someone recorded it on their iPhone or something. It was.
It's like it very much sounds. It's like playing a PlayStation game, like. Before there was budgets, or before, like, it was just like, here's like my uncle is playing one of the main characters in this game because we can't afford to get enough people to
it's really bad.
Characters.
For what it's worth, some of the Japanese voice actors and actresses are people who are like known quantities, and it's also just like they're phoning it in. So it's like there's no version of this game where the voice acting is good or compelling, but also there's no version of this game where the story is good or compelling, so it doesn't matter. You can just kind of turn that off.
I don't know. I kind of like some of the character stories, and like the main story in that game is not that interesting. But
yeah, there's nothing that happens. Like,
yeah,
it's just like very standard. Like, you got to go save the world.
Right. But I mean, like just playing as all the different characters' backstories and stuff. Some of those.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well,
I mean, the best thing about that game is dressing everybody up in little outfits. That's the best thing. I mean, any game where people can wear little outfits, that's the best thing about it.
Right. The best thing about that game, as you said, is the sprite artwork.
Yeah.
Which is been replaced by extremely generic 3D.
Really bad like rendition. There's a part early on where they play this like somber piano tune while like you go to find this thing at night. And then like I was listening to it, I was like, this sounds bad. And the original soundtrack is in there. And I was like, I'm gonna turn the like 1995 like Super Famicom like piano chip version of this tune on. And I did, and I was like, this sounds way better than like this whole like remade remaster. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is supposed to be the good version.
The Wild is an all-timer, and I don't regret having a Switch for that. But
I mean, all the Nintendo stuff. They just thing where you can make worlds in Mario Maker.
Yeah, I mean that's great, but I don't care. The interface stuff in that game is so. It's such a huge. It's not that it's bad, but it's just a huge step back from having the Wii U tablet and having 2 screens at all times, and not having that. Just like half of that game's appeal just is right out the window since I don't want to create stuff. But I don't know. I mean, and also like all of Nintendo's online stuff is garbage. It's still garbage. It's been that way forever. But like, I loved playing Splatoon 2, and we just couldn't do it. It just like the game just wouldn't let us play together. Like we couldn't be on the same team. We could all be in the same lobby, but we had to fight against each other. We couldn't because you had to get good enough to make a certain rank in the ranked multiplayer in order to team up and play against other teams of people, and it just fucking sucks. And like the Smash Brothers online is also like really, it's like a pain in the ass to get into a lobby with a bunch of people, and everything online with that. And then like the Mario Maker stuff is there's just no easy way to just like play other people's good levels. You have to type in codes, and there's all this bullshit that you have to go through. And I just don't want to. It just isn't worth it to me to put up with the bullshit because there's so many good video games that there's nothing that Nintendo can do to like make me want to put up with their bullshit when I could just play something else and not have to put up with the bullshit.
But hey, speaking of good video games, who here misses Mass Effect?
I feel like after Andromeda, nobody misses Mass Effect.
I mean,
who here misses good Mass Effect?
I miss how I felt about Mass Effect like somewhere like
10 years ago,
in the Mass Effect 2-3 area. Yeah.
Well, the important thing is that I just lifted this dude up in the air so that everyone else can skeet shoot him.
I mean, that's a good thing.
That's cool.
I like that in Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
I never played as that character in Mass Effect, but I had one of those people
any character who could lift.
I don't think so. I usually played as I played as the like running shotgun person.
Oh, the Vanguard?
Yeah. I think I don't remember.
That was the bionic one who used shotguns. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to play as the one that was the most like playing Gears of War.
That's probably the one. Yeah.
The good way to play Gears of War, not the like hiding behind stuff and shooting at people, but
I forgot. I think you guys talked about this last week when I was at work, but I beat that dang old Final Fantasy VII remake, and that shit was great.
Yeah, so, I'm waiting for Kurt to finish it, and then maybe
I was gonna say I don't know what to say about it because I don't know if we're gonna jump into like.
I feel like we should probably just do a spoiler stream on that.
Sure. Yeah.
I've been spoiled on it completely, and I don't care, but I find it interesting to talk about. I would have downloaded the demo actually.
My plan was to power through it and then do it slowly.
Yeah.
Okay.
How far are you, Kurt?
I'm in chapter 7.
That didn't work at all.
Oh, you're
Kurt
getting
is
there.
making dinner, I think.
What the hell?
I'm washing dishes. I was muted.
Man.
But I was chime in and say, yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm about to blow up the second reactor.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're almost into the wall market, which I think is one of the better parts of that game.
Yeah.
That whole strip from the wall market to the Don Corneo to into the Shinra building is the strongest part of that game for me. There's a lot of really good quests in that stretch also. Get to hang out with Aerith, and I liked all.
So I keep meaning to ask this, and I never remember to ask it when we're talking about it. Have they settled and said is it Eris or Aerith?
It's Aerith. It's always been Aerith. Eris was a weird translation thing.
Well, you know what? Those two names are equally weird, so I don't see what the big deal is.
I feel like
it's like the difference between s and th is not significant in my.
Sure, but I'm
just
like the way they've chosen to Romanize it or spell it.
It is Aerith now.
Okay.
Yes.
Because the copy because I feel like some the early copies of the original were with an S, and then later copies.
It's Aerith, and it's Mako, and it's Corneo, and it's Kyrie.
I was gonna say they also said it was Mako, so there you go.
Kyrie is the one that fucks me up the most, but.
Well, all right. One shot. This mission has failed. I think that may be the end of the XCOM stream for today.
Was that one of your characters, or
no,
was that
it was a VIP that I was supposed to protect, who I thought was in cover, but then it turns out that he was not in cover from that side.
Was he not in cover? I mean, that guy looked like that guy blew your cover apart.
I was say, it looked like the wall got exploded.
Oh my cover!
Well,
not Quaid.
Yeah. My choices are restart the mission or quit. I will do one and then the other.
Okay.
So that's Chimera Squad. It was easy at the first, and now apparently I'm bad at it. So
now it's XCOM.
Get good, scrub.
No, I'm good at XCOM. This is the XCOM that I'm not good at, if I understand correctly. So we got a lot to learn still. But anyway, it's pretty cool. I don't know if it's still on sale for half off, but it's a steal for $10 American. And it's neat. If you like tactical games, you could do worse or maybe better this week. I don't know, because I haven't tried the other one that just came out. But what a week for tactical shooters.
Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
So